Your name is Yumi Tanaka. You are 31 years old and you have been living in this apartment in Minami-Aoyama for 4 years and you have never once opened the curtains that face the street. Not because anyone told you not to. Because you understood, without being told, that certain things in your life now require a specific management of visibility, and the curtains are the simplest expression of that management. The apartment is beautiful. The curtains stay closed. You were not born into this. This is the thing that separates your situation from most of the people in Hiroshi Kato's world, the soldiers and the lieutenants and the handlers and the wives and the lawyers who exist in various layers around him. Almost all of them arrived in this world through inheritance or neighborhood or the specific gravity of a particular kind of adolescence. You arrived through a Tuesday evening in November 3 years before the apartment, when you were 24 years old and working as a hostess at a club in Roppongi, and a man sat at your table who was not like the other men who sat at your table. The other men performed. The other men wanted you to see them spending. Hiroshi Kato sat down and asked you what you were reading. You were reading Kawabata. You told him so. He said, "Which one?" You said, "Snow Country." He said, "The ending is the most honest thing in modern Japanese literature." And you looked at this man, 53 years old, compact and still, the face of someone who had made his peace with everything that needed making peace with, and you thought, this is different. It was different. Understand what he is before you understand what you are. Hiroshi Kato is the Kumicho of the Kato Gumi, which is a mid-sized organization operating primarily in Tokyo and Kanagawa with interests in Osaka that are managed carefully from a distance. He is not the largest Yakuza boss in Japan. He does not want to be. The largest organizations attract the most attention and the most legislative pressure and the most ambitious rivals, and Hiroshi Kato has spent 30 years cultivating an organization that is exactly large enough to be powerful and exactly small enough to be precise. He is 61 now. He has the compact stillness of a man who stopped needing to prove things sometime in his 40s and has been living in that freedom since. He has a wife, Sachiko. They married when he was 29 and she was 27, and neither of them were under any illusions about what the marriage was or what it would require. Sachiko lives in a large house in Dennenchifu and manages their legitimate real estate holdings and attends certain functions and maintains the household with the specific competence of a woman who understood the terms of what she was entering and has executed those terms without complaint for 32 years. You have never met Sachiko. You have seen her once, a photograph in a magazine, a charity event in Yokohama. She looks exactly like what she is, the wife of a powerful and complicated man, wearing that role with a particular grace that Japanese women of her generation learned to wear complicated things. You are not competing with Sachiko. You are not her replacement. You occupy a completely different category, the way a Wednesday occupies a completely different category from a Sunday. Both are days, neither is the other, neither is lesser for being what it is. This is what you tell yourself. Most days you believe it. Your life has a specific shape. Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings, Hiroshi comes to the Minami-Aoyama apartment. He arrives between 7 and 9, which is a window rather than a time, because the nature of his schedule is that it cannot be precisely scheduled. You have learned to be ready inside the window rather than at a time, dinner prepared in a way that holds well, wine open, the apartment in its best state. When he arrives, he takes his shoes off at the Genkan, and there is a specific quality to the sound of his shoes being placed beside yours that you have come to find, over 4 years, to be the sound of your weak center arriving. He does not talk about his work. Not directly. Not specifically. He talks about other things. The Kawabata conversation was not an exception, it was the template. He reads widely and thinks carefully and has opinions about architecture and about the restoration of old buildings in Tokyo's rapidly developing neighborhoods and about baseball in a way that is both deeply felt and analytically precise. On Tuesday evenings you eat dinner and talk and sometimes watch a film, and it is, in the specific and limited world of Tuesday evenings, an ordinary life between two people who have found each other interesting. Thursday evenings are different from Tuesday evenings in ways that are private and will remain so. He does not stay overnight. He has never stayed overnight. This is one of the terms, unstated but absolute, and you understood it before it needed stating. You drive, or rather, his driver takes him, back to Dennenchifu by 11 or by midnight, and you are in the apartment alone with the specific quality of an apartment that has just been full and is now empty, which is a specific quality you have become expert in occupying. The money. There is money. There is significant money. The apartment is provided and maintained. A monthly transfer to an account in your name from a holding company with a legitimate name covers what the apartment does not cover and then some. You are not required to work. You choose to work 3 days a week at a design firm in Shibuya where you do interior consultation for commercial clients, because you found, in the first year of this arrangement, that the version of yourself that does not work becomes a version you do not recognize or particularly like. Hiroshi was not surprised by this. He told you, "I know who I invited into this apartment. Work. The money is real, and the money is also the most precise articulation of what the relationship is and what it is not. The apartment is his generosity. Your account is his provision. The design job is yours. These 3 categories do not overlap, and you manage them separately the way you manage the curtains, not because you were told to, but because you understand what the management requires. You do not ask about the money's origin. This is not naivety. You are 31 years old, and you are not naive about anything. You do not ask about the money's origin for the same reason that you do not open the curtains facing the street, because the specific terms of your visibility require that you see some things and not see others, and you have made your choice about which is which with complete awareness that it is a choice. There are things you do not have. You do not have Tuesday and Thursday, and also Wednesday and Friday. His schedule has 2 evenings in it for you, and those evenings are what they are, and the other evenings are the rest of your life, which you inhabit with deliberate fullness. You have a close friend named Hannah who knows the broad shape of your situation without the specifics. Hannah asks no questions, and you volunteer nothing, and this is the friendship's architecture, built to hold what it needs to hold. You have your work at the design firm, which is genuinely satisfying in the specific way that work is satisfying when you are good at it, and it is connected to something you care about. You have books, you have always had books, since long before the Tuesday evening in Roppongi, and the books are the most continuous thing in your life, the thread that runs uninterrupted through every version of yourself you have been. You do not have a future that is legible in the way that other women your age have a future that is legible. Your colleagues at the design firm are getting married. They talk about this the way people talk about things that are simply the next step, the weddings, the apartments in different neighborhoods, the decisions about children that are beginning to require making. You listen to these conversations with complete interest and zero longing, most of the time. The zero longing is real. Also real, there is a conversation about a future that you cannot have with anyone, and this is, if you are being fully honest with yourself in the apartment with the closed curtains, the specific and unclosable gap in what your life is. There was a night in the 2nd year. A man came to the apartment building. Not to you specifically. He did not know which apartment was yours. But he asked the building manager about a woman of your description, and the building manager, who receives a specific amount per month from the same holding company that maintains the apartment, called a number before answering, and the call went to someone who was not Hiroshi, and by morning 2 men you had never seen before were in a car parked on the street below. They stayed for 3 days. Hiroshi came on a Thursday that week, the day he was coming anyway, and he sat across from you at the dinner table and explained the situation with the specific economy of a man who provides information that is necessary and nothing beyond it. A rival organization. A message intended for him that took an indirect route. The matter was being resolved. You were not in danger. The 2 men outside would stay until it was resolved. You asked, resolved how? He looked at you for a moment, the compact stillness, the face that has made its peace with everything. He said, the way these things are resolved. Then he said, I am sorry this reached your address. The apology landed in you in a specific way. Not the way an apology lands when someone has done something wrong. The way an apology lands when someone is showing you, in the only vocabulary available to them, that they are aware of what their life costs the people in it. The men stayed for 3 more days. Then they were gone. The matter was resolved in the way these things are resolved. You did not ask further. 4 years. You are 31 years old, and you have been in this apartment in Minami-Aoyama for 4 years, and you know things about Hiroshi Kato that his wife does not know, the Kawabata opinions, the way he talks about his father who died when Hiroshi was 35 and who he has never finished grieving, the specific baseball statistics he finds meaningful and why, the look on his face when he is pretending to be fine and isn't. And there are things about Hiroshi that Sachiko knows that you will never know, the 32 years of Sunday mornings and the children they raised and the version of him that existed before he became what he became. Both of you know half of the man. Neither of you has the whole of him. You have thought about this a great deal. You have not resolved it because it is not the kind of thing that resolves. It is the kind of thing that you carry, The way you carry the decision not to open the curtains, the way you carry Tuesday and Thursday and the weight of Wednesday and Friday, the way you carry the knowledge that your future is not legible in the way legible futures are shaped. There is a word in Japanese, mono no aware, for the beauty that exists specifically because of impermanence. The cherry blossom is beautiful because it falls. The thing you feel is beautiful because it cannot be what it cannot be. You think about this more than you think about most things. On a Tuesday evening in November, 4 years since the first Tuesday evening, the symmetry not lost on you, Hiroshi comes to the apartment and takes off his shoes, and you hear them placed beside yours at the Genkan, and you bring dinner to the table, and he sits across from you and says, "You should know that I am thinking about stepping back from certain responsibilities over the next 2 years." You receive this. He says, "Some things will change. Not everything." He says, "I wanted you to know before you heard something incomplete from somewhere else." You look at him across the dinner table. The compact stillness. The face that has made its peace. You think about the Tuesday evenings and the Thursday evenings and the closed curtains and the 3 days the men were parked below and the Kawabata conversation that started it and Snow Country and the ending that is the most honest thing in modern Japanese literature. You say, "I know." He looks at you. You say, "I have always known the shape of this." You say it without grief and without performance, in the specific voice of a woman who made her choices with her eyes open and is not surprised by the consequences of those choices, only by how much she does not regret them. He is quiet for a long moment. Then he says, "Yes. I know you have. You eat dinner. You talk about a building in Shinjuku that is being demolished to make way for a glass tower, and whether anything real will be lost, and whether things that are lost can be said to have truly been there if they leave no trace. You talk about this for a long time. The dinner gets cold. Neither of you moves to warm it. Outside the apartment, Tokyo continues in its 2 layers simultaneously. The surface city and the underneath city, both running, both precise, both entirely real. The curtains stay closed. You would not have it otherwise.